Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's our pleasure to welcome you to the webinar series we call Let's Webinar, a Majan University College initiative. Today we are going to discuss about the leadership career in cybersecurity. We are organizing this webinar with the partnership with EC Council, the pioneer in cybersecurity and related security certification programs, and Fortinet, the appliance distributor worldwide. Most of us knows that even in Oman, Omantel is using this Fortinet and FortiGuard appliances. So it's our pleasure to welcome them also. Today, Mr. Talha from EC Council, the manager of EC Council Academia, is joining with us. Mr. Maurice from Fortinet NSC Training Institute, Professor Vijay, our head of faculty, and welcome my colleagues Mr. Muhammad Siddiq and Ms. Jacinta to the session. This session is aimed to showcase the importance of cybersecurity and the pathways to achieve the skills to combat cyber threats. Let me welcome Professor Vijay to give you a brief introduction about Majan University College. Over to you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ram. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on leadership career in cybersecurity. Now, I am working with Majan University College for a decade as a head of the faculty in IT, and I have been given 180 seconds by Dr. Ram to address this session. So I will try my level best to limit myself into the given timeline. Now, so I will do just a housekeeping work about to know you about the Majan University College. Majan University College, which was established in 1995, that is exactly 25 years down the lane. We are in our silver jubilee year. Is the first private sector college in Oman and has continued to be at the forefront of higher education in the Sultanate ever since. In December 2017, Majan achieved full institutional accreditation from Oman Academic Accreditation Authority, that is OAAA, and maintained its reputation as a trailblazer by being the first higher education institution in the country to do so. Majan University College is also a home to multicultural academic community with more than 100 staff from various countries and students populations over 4,000. Majan is an accredited college by University of Bedfordshire in UK, and it operates under the supervision of Ministry of Higher Education, Oman. It offers both undergraduates and postgraduates program. My colleagues would be addressing about the various programs which we are offering. Predominantly, we are into business administration, information technology, and English language. Now, all of us do not have an equal talent, but all of us should have an equal opportunity to develop our talent. For MUC, that is Majan University College, education is a process of tendering, nurturing, and nursing the students so as to make them a full-fledged member of a society or a community to which they belong. Now, transition from an educated mind to a well-formed mind is what we try for. So education is sensitive to time, place, and circumstances. This is because it is constantly changing, adapting itself to the new demands. More certainly, COVID-19 is an immense humanitarian crisis that has also severely affected global economy. This rapid and unexpected disruption around the world has left many companies struggling to maintain security and business continuity. The dust is still settling, but these are the times to probably to step back and review or to see that how the new reality or new normal look like. Now, with unemployment rates plummeting globally, it is hard to fathom a spike in demand for talent. But that's exactly what the cybersecurity industry witnessed in the first half of 2020. Post-pandemic, a recent study by Gartner, revealed that the number of cases of COVID spiked globally, so did cyber attacks. From February, April 1st to 10th of May, there was 65% increase in demand of cybersecurity professionals in the US and 25% globally. Now, further, the advent of modern technology such as Internet of Technology is exponentially increasing the number of connected devices to the extent that it is believed that there will be around 200 billion connected devices by the end of 2020. Now, if I would like to take an example here, the city of Atlanta, I mean, I'm sure most of you were aware about that, was attacked by an infamous Samsung ransomware. The attacker asked for a ransom of $51,000. Now, the Samsung ransomware was so harmful that the city of Atlanta was offline for 5 days. Now, this caused several significant citywide operation being halted. So it's ended up having a recovery cost of around $70 million. So that is what a cyber attack can do, and that is why you and me are here today. I am sure that this session of leadership career in cybersecurity would provide us a lot of insight, wisdom, and clarity on the cybersecurity professionals. If you could look at the template, Majan University College has been working very closely with EC Council, and Fortinet, SAP, ISACA, Oracle, because we are a very industry-driven organization. I welcome you all for this session. Have a great experience, learning experience. And now over to my colleague, Mr. Siddiq. He would be talking about the various program which we would be, which is being taken by Majan University College. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Siddiq will join us later. As of now, I'm taking the session to introduce Mr. Talha, the guest speaker of the day, first session by Mr. Talha. Mr. Talha Jawad is the manager of Academia EC Council. It's my pleasure to welcome him. He is joining from India. He is the manager for India, Middle East and Africa region. Basically, Talha Jawad is an electronics and communication engineer with a strong background in technical sales and HR consulting over 14 years of experience. He is an expert in ethical hacking, network defense, and critical infrastructure networks, and provides training to career counseling also. Let's listen to him and gain the skills required to prevent cyber attacks. The good thing about this session is Mr. Talha is going to give you a live attack which can help us to gain the ethical hacking skills. It's only a snippet of the skills, vast skills EC Council is providing to us. And I would like to remind our participants that e-certificate will be provided for the active participants. We are taking the count of active participants. It will be dispatched to you after the session is over. Over to you, Mr. Talha.
Thank you, Dr. Ramalingam. Thank you so much for taking the time to introduce me. It's a pleasure to be part of this program, and I'm hoping that all the participants who have taken this time, their time will be well invested, and I'm hoping to add value to their lives and careers by sharing information and valuable information on cybersecurity and how EC Council, by partnering the EC Council and Majan, our partner, they can build their career in cybersecurity. Now, without wasting any of your time, I'm excited to be here and talking to you. So let me just share my screen. Can everybody see my presentation?
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
fine,
excellent.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. I'd be happy to take questions at the end of the session. And let me just take a minute to walk you through our presentation. First of all, thanks so much for joining. And let me walk you through EC Council introduction. EC Council is a global firm. We are based in the US with 7 operations, physically located operations across the globe, and we operate in 140 plus countries. We are one of the largest in the world in terms of number of certified experts in cybersecurity. No other competition is as close to us. Our closest competition is half the number and still catching up on us. And the kind of tools and technologies that we work on are cutting edge and hands-on capabilities. We have over 3,000 plus tools and technologies to equip you with the latest tools and techniques in cyber defense so that you can perform immediately once you partner with us and reach out on the job specs requirements, and we have the necessary skills and tools with hands-on learning capabilities. So what sets EC Council apart is some of our top customers who trust us for their programs. For example, if you Google up EC Council US Department of Defense, this is one of our top customers who trust us to train their engineers on cybersecurity, the defense. For example, our ethical hacking program is well known and established in US Department of Defense, and they use this particular program to train their engineers on cyber defense. And this is the kind of opportunity I'm bringing to you, students and audience, to take this up as a career opportunity. We are bringing all the wealth of the industry, the knowledge of the industry, and delivering it through our partner Majan to you in an academic format. Now, how cool is that? That's the kind of opportunity that we are bringing to your table to help you with the necessary skills and the knowledge to be able to perform in cybersecurity. Now, coming to our recognition. Now, if you Google up EC Council accreditations, our programs are globally recognized. For example, ANSI, American National Standards Institute, US Department of Defense, UK Intelligence, the National Security Agency, this is the CIA, and even the NICE framework, National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education. Our programs are in collaboration with the industry. Meetings define learning objectives and outcomes, and we basically map to industry requirements and industry bodies that set the gold standard for cybersecurity education. And this is the wealth of experience and knowledge we are bringing to you students to be able to take up the challenges of the future. Now, why cybersecurity in the first place? Like Professor Vijay rightly mentioned, cybersecurity has the least unemployment rate in the world. With the current situation of COVID, cyber attacks are drastically increasing. Governments are investing on cyber defense. Private organizations are investing in cyber defense. And as per reports by Cyber Ventures, a private firm in the US, cybersecurity jobs are poised to grow to 3 to 4 million jobs by 2021 with the least employment rates across the globe. And this is the kind of future that we are looking to partner with you to build your career in cybersecurity. Now, if you look at the massive scale of cybersecurity industry, 1 in every 6 crimes globally is conducted by cyber thieves. 1 million new malwares are discovered every day. 1% of global earnings are lost to cyber criminals. Now, if you keep that in perspective, that's a huge amount of money. Why? The question is, why are cyber attacks on a roll? The answer is pretty simple. Because of digitization. Businesses are adopting new technologies, adopting new systems, ERPs, e-Oman initiatives. There are a lot of e-payments. All of these digital assets are employing new technologies, and hackers are using vulnerabilities and weaknesses to identify how they can use this information that is being transferred over the internet for malicious intent. So some of the technologies you can see here: databases, applications, payment apps, e-payment apps. These are what are creating an impact in the way we do business today, and this is what hackers are using as a point of vulnerability to get into the network and possibly utilize this information for malicious intent. So what kind of a future do we have in cybersecurity jobs? Now, if you look at the career path, this is a survey that I've done with Oman market. Now, if you Google cybersecurity salary in Oman, a typical salary for a cybersecurity professional with 2 to 3 years is about 16 to 18,000 Omani riyals per annum. Now, if you compare that to other careers, web developer, for example, 6,000 Omani riyal, software engineer, 10,000 Omani riyal, IT team lead, about 24,500 Omani riyals. And keeping that in perspective, a team lead would need at least 10 years of experience, and a cybersecurity professional with 2 to 3 years experience is almost there. And that's the kind of return on investment you can have for your career when you decide to take up cybersecurity as a career option. So where do you start? Now, here are some of the coolest jobs in cybersecurity. Typically, the market is looking for forensics experts, penetration testers, application penetration testers, SOC analysts, cyber network security engineers, and these are some of the basic entry-level jobs that you could aspire for as a student to build your career in cybersecurity. And as you progress in your career with the necessary certification and experience, you can look at some of the advanced roles like architect, incident responder, software security manager, malware analyst, or even a cybersecurity information Officer, Chief Information Security Manager, and these are some of the top level roles in the market. And this is how you can build your career path in cybersecurity. Now, how can EC Council help? EC Council has a defined path for you and for your career with learning objectives and outcomes will not just be there in your career at this stage. We are looking for the long run to help you progress in your career, right from the basics, the fundamental, the intermediate, the core skill, the specialist skills, and the advanced and executive level experience. We are here to partner with you for the next 10 years to make sure that your career is successful in cybersecurity and you have the necessary skills and certifications to be able to deliver to the job expectations of the future. And we'll talk about this certification career path in detail. Now, if you look at our VAPT track, which is one of our popular tracks in cybersecurity, and all our certification career paths have gone through a job track analysis. What that means is that we have defined a job role for each of our certification paths. Now, if you follow this particular route, where you start from network security, ethical hacking, ECSA, and license penetration tester, typically the job roles that you should be looking at in the market is a penetration tester, security analyst, information security officer, and you can check out this, and this would also be available on our website where you can download this course book, and I can share this with Dr. Ramalingam as well, who can send that across to you. So if you see here, our certifications are recognized by some of the top brands in the industry: Microsoft, Infosys, Amazon, Bank of America, HP. These are some of the brands, they're global brands that recognize EC Council certifications as the necessary hands-on skills that can be developed to be able to perform in the job role. So the amazing part about our certification is that it's completely hands-on. What that means is we have a great balance of about 50% theory and 50% practical on an average. So you'll not just be learning theory aspect of cybersecurity, but we will also be covering the practical aspect where we are teaching you hands-on skills with real-time environments and networks so that you are not surprised when you land in the job. Now, this is cyber forensics, which is another field in demand that is very popular in government sector, especially in telecom companies, banks, and these are some of the top institutions and organizations that hire our certified engineers, and these kind of skills can be replicated across Oman with similar businesses that require certain professionals with these skills and can help you develop and hone the necessary skills to be working as a cyber forensics expert who's typically a root cause analysis expert who identifies why and how the cyber attack happened to be able to protect against future attacks. Now, network defense and operations is another area of specialization which talks about network security. This career path starts from network defense and moves to SOC analyst, disaster recovery, incident handling, and advanced network defense. And this particular career path is for those students who are aspiring to become a professional in network security, and we build your career path right from the fundamentals to the advanced level skills where you are handling incident or working as a SOC analyst, and this is the career path you need to choose if you are decided to work as a network security professionals. Now, how do we help? iLabs, our 24/7 cloud-based cyber range, it's 100% hands-on, it's 100% automated, hands-on learning with practical learning. It's available on cloud, sandbox environment, totally secure from the comfort of your home, university, the internet cafe. We teach you advanced cybersecurity tools that can enable you to perform in your job, and I'd be walking you through to a sample exercise as well. It's completely virtual platform with multiple operating systems and machines, Kali Linux, Windows, Android, Ubuntu, Windows Server. You have multiple platforms available that can enable you to get the necessary skills to be able to perform in the job role. Now, let's look at a sample live attack, session hijacking. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, so I'd be happy to have that conversation in the end. Session hijacking is basically intercepting communication between a client and a server machine, and this is one of our exercises that we teach in our labs session with practicals. And basically this is a man in the middle who takes over the communication between the client and server and captures the session ID and spoofs the IP address, and basically the server feels that he's talking to the same person, but the attacker in the middle is intercepting the session and pretending to be that person and capturing the data. And typically session IDs are compromised by stealing, guessing, or brute force attacks, and Wireshark is one of the tools that they use along with OSAP. So let's just take a minute to have a look at our labs platform. 1 minute. So let me just refresh my lab. Just give me a second. All right. So here's our labs platform, EC Console programs. 1 second. Okay, let me just log in, please. Okay, so this is where you will land into once you Google iLabs. It will ask you for a username and password. You will sign in. It's as simple as that. Now, once you go to courses, you will hit find courses. And under that, you will see CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker Program. And you will hit CEH assessments. And under that, you can see we have advanced labs already pre-populated. All the network is set up. All the tools are pre-installed. There are more than 2,000 plus tools available, and this is going to help you get the necessary skills for building your career and having those skills that can differentiate you in the market in terms of a cybersecurity career. Now let's look at session hijacking. So I click on launch.
Talha?
And yes.
Just one announcement to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, this attack is shown for your knowledge and skills. Don't practice yourself on the other systems. It will be unethical. Please be aware of it.
Yes, absolutely.
You, Talha.
Yes, sir, Dr. Ramalingam. Absolutely. You have to be very careful. EC Council is running a sandbox environment. You do this anything outside in the public, you could be legally persecuted. Now this particular lab that you will be seeing here, it's run on EC Council network with proprietary domains, proprietary tools, and proprietary network. So what that means is irrespective of what mistake you make here, nobody's gonna catch you. And that's the beauty about learning with EC Council. So the lab just takes a minute because it's a virtual machine. Just give it a couple of minutes. So I see a couple of questions from the audience. Okay, so I'll be taking questions in the end. All right. Just give it 30 seconds, please. So I'm excited to be talking to the audience today, and I'm hoping that I will have some good questions with respect to what career path they should be considering after they graduate. For some of the Majan students and some professionals from the industry as well. I'm looking forward to an interactive Q&A session. All right, the lab environment is almost ready. Usually it takes a minute. Just give it a second. All right, excellent. Thank you for your patience and thank you for holding on. Now you can see here all the resources are pre-populated. You have Windows servers, Windows 10, all the machines are pre-populated. And you can do this from virtually anywhere, sitting anywhere, in your coffee shop, in your home, in your university. You just need access to a modern laptop computer with 8 GB RAM and a modern i5 plus processor, Windows operating system, Windows any other operating system that can enable you to access this through the browser, and this will enable you to perform labs and learn cybersecurity technical concepts. Now the labs are scenario based. This is a session hijacking lab, and you will have a assistant, a virtual assistant on the side that will guide you in a step-by-step procedure what you need to do. You don't need to worry about anything. If I can do it, believe me, you can do it as well. So I just hit Control-Alt-Delete to log into the machine. So right now I'm logging into my Windows 10 machine. Okay. So this is our target machine. So I need to log in into the machine. I hit login, Control-Alt-Delete. Now I hit password here. All right. I log in into the machine. Now session hijacking is all about intercepting the communication between the client and the server. Now we'll set up a proxy address on our browser. So I open my browser. Now you don't need to worry about this. All of these instructions will be available here. You will be following this step by step. Once Chrome browser, you can see here with screenshots as well, so that we make learning a very simple and easy process for you. So I click on settings. Now I go down here. I click on advanced settings. Okay, so I'm trying to set up a proxy address. So I go down here. Open proxy settings. Now I hit LAN settings here. Now I'm using a proxy's address of the attacker machine. Now I put in the IP address here. Hit OK. I save it. Now if you follow the virtual instructor here on the right side, it gives you the same thing with screenshots for you. Now you just hit apply and you just close the browser. Okay. Now after that, after we have set in the proxy address, you need to configure the attack machine. Now we go back to our main machine, which is the attack machine, Windows Server 2016. You log in here. Just give it a second. Usually the traffic is high in the evening time in India, so that's why it's a little slow. Just give it a second. All right, excellent. Now the attack machine is ready. Now I type in the password. I just click password here. I log into the machine. Now I follow the instruction here. It's asked me to open the OSAP ZAP tool. Okay. Now this is the tool that is used for intercepting the traffic and redirecting it to the target machine. Now these are some of the top tools that you'll be learning, and that will enable you to perform in your cybersecurity job. And these are some of the practical tools that are taught in real-time environment, and you'll be interacting with all such tools while building your career in cybersecurity. Okay, so I just hit no. Now I hit a breakpoint here. Okay. Now after I do that, I go to tools, options. Okay. I go to the bottom here, local proxies, local host. I select the IP address of my attacker machine. Go down, hit OK. Okay. All right. Now we have okay. Now we start capturing packets, get. Okay. With the get command here. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, after we have configured our OSAP tool, okay, so I just have to click this icon. So it will pop me, give me a warning if I don't complete this. So it follows your progress as well to make sure that you have completed all the steps. Okay. Now I need to go back to the main machine. Okay. Open the browser. Go to a URL. Now this particular domain is proprietary to EC Council. We own this. Now if you're going to do this on any other domain out there, get ready for some legal notices. So I'm warning you in advance, please don't try to replicate this tools and this exercise that I'm doing here. It could result in legal consequences. Now I've put in the browser here, but I don't want this website, even though it's going to this domain, I don't want this website to open because I'm doing a session hijacking attack. I want this to redirect to some other website. Now this is how these guys do it. So now I'm going back to my target machine. Okay. Now I hit submit in it. Now you can see here it's starting to capture the packets. Now if I click here, click a couple of times, it will show me one minute. Give it a couple of minutes. Yes, you can see here. Now it's starting to capture the movie scope domain. Now what do we want to do? We want to redirect the hacker to another session. Even though he's going to movie scope, we want him to go to another website. Now this is what session hacking is all about. Now if you see here, it gives you the screenshots, all the necessary information for you to be able to do that. So Good Shopping is the site that I want to do that. I'm the hacker. I don't want this guy to go here. So what do I do here? I replace this in this tool. Now what do? I just copy this. And I put in Good Shopping. goodshopping.com. Now I copy this. You need to do this a couple of times because there are multiple pages on the website. So we want the banner to be affected all across the website. So now I've changed this here. Now hit submit. Okay. Now hit it again. Hit it again. Hit it again. Wherever you see movies, movie scope, you need to change that. Hit it a couple of times. Okay. 1 minute. Give it a couple of minutes because this labs takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. The server needs to capture the address. Okay, let's just check on our target machine if what is the website he's landing to. Now you can see here, even though he's going to moviescope.com, the browser is showing Good Shopping. Now it will take a couple of minutes for this to populate. Typically we are on a remote network where the traffic is going through multiple hops, so it's taking some time. But you will see Good Shopping website here, even though he's trying to go to movie scope. And the screenshot that you will see over there once this network goes is typically this. Even though he is going to moviescope.com, he'll be landing on goodshopping.com. Now hacker will use this web page to capture all login details, and the client will feel that he's actually on movie scope, but he's actually landing to a different website altogether. So that kind of concludes my live hacking attack. So I'll pass the presentation over to the Dr. Ramalingam and Kumail, who can take the session forward. So once this populates, I'll reshare it with the audience. So do we have any questions from the audience or anything I can answer? Kumail?
Thank you, Mr. Talha. There are questions. We will take the questions later. In the meantime,
Okay.
you can see the questions in the chat box and you can write the answer also. If there are
Sure.
any pending questions which you need to answer, you can answer it in the question and answer session, which is at the end of the session. Thank you very much,
Okay,
Talha,
excellent.
for a wonderful session. And I would like to share my, I would like to invite Mr. Siddiq and Jacinta, maybe Jacinta first, to take over the session. Over to you, Jacinta, my colleague, Director of Studies in Majan University College, to talk a few minutes. Later, we will take the, we will go to the session number 2, that is from Fortinet by Mr. Maurice. In between, we are having 2 people. Maurice, over just 5 minutes, Maurice, we will get back to you. Over to you, Jacinta.
Good evening, audience. Hope my screen is visible to you all. So I would like to introduce to you about the MSc programs offered at Majan College. So these are the hosted programs from the University of Bedfordshire, UK. So under MSc programs, we have 5 pathways. The first one is computer security and digital forensics. The second one is information management and security. The third one is applied computing and IT. The fourth one is computer networking. And the fifth one is mobile computing. So these are the programs we offer at Majan under the MSc program. And our MSc program has been delivered since 2011. So it's a well-established program. You need to study for 2 years when you're doing your MSc, and 2 years, that is the 4 semesters. Every semester you have only 5 IT schools and that are offered only at the weekend. So this is a very good option for the students who are working, the participants who are working. So it's a blended learning format we are using. Main lecturers are from UK, University of Bedfordshire, and the supporting lecturers are from Majan. And your degree is awarded by the University of Bedfordshire. Give me a moment. Okay, we take 2 intakes in a year. The first one is one is in September, second one is in February. So we have 2 intakes. For doing MSc, you require minimum of second class, 2.2 GPA or good classification with IELTS 6.0. That's mandatory for doing MSc. And for this semester intake, that is September 2020 intake, the deadline is August 31. You can contact at the given email address if you want more information about the master's program, MSc program. And you can see the free number as well. So this is about MSc. And I request Siddiq to take upon. Over to you, Siddiq.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sinta. Yes, thank you very much. Myself, Mohammad Siddiq from Faculty of IT. We have UG programs offering both bachelor's program, bachelor's honors and diploma in higher education, both full-time and part-time. The courses are having 30 modules of 15 credit each. I will go through the names of the programs. We have 3 major programs in the faculty offering undergraduate programs. The number 1 is computing. It has got 3 pathways again. Number 1, oil and gas. This is a very unique and first in Oman kind of program. It gives a lot of hands-on experience with latest technologies like wireless instant networks, SCADA industrial computing, oil and gas business processes, and so on. We also have oil and gas on and off program. It's exclusively customized program for the employees who are working in industry, oil and gas field, for example, those who are working for 15 days there and they are off for 15 days. So we have a customized program for them. Okay, we also have software engineering. for those who are looking for IT career in software industry, and one more banking information system for those looking for the prospects in the banking sector. Now coming to the second program, computer and internet application. These are for the people who are looking for career in computing and internet technology. And the last one is networking for the ones who are looking prospects in networking field. Okay, so these are the three major programs that we have, and we have professional field editions like Professor Vijay said earlier with Oracle, Microsoft, Cisco, Isaka, SAP, NSE, and Microsoft Advanced HE and all. Ms. Jacinta, can you just go to the next screen, please?
Okay, carry on.
Yes, thank you very much. Also, in undergraduate, we have 2 intakes in a year, which is in September, which is coming soon, and again in February. The entry requirement for these degrees are General Secondary School Diploma, which is Kanavaya 12 standard. We also have APL entries for those who are already in other universities or institutions, partially completed. So there is a accreditation prior learning looking into the exemptions of the model that can be given. The phone number is here, which is 24730409, and you can reach us with this email ID, studentoutreach@majancollege.edu.om. We have a toll-free number also, 8007-1000. Thank you very much. Kumail, you can carry on to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Siddiq and Ms. Jacinta. I hope that you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our second speaker of this session, the second session actually, Mr. Maurice Gibson. Thank you very much for waiting for such a long time. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Maurice. He is the Education Programs Manager of Fortinet Security Academy program. Most of us are familiar with the Fortinet and its security products in combating the cybersecurity attacks. Fortinet is offering a security academy program to higher education institutes to create more diverse, equitable, and inclusive cyber workforce, and also bridging the gap between the learning and careers. So, I mean the academia and industry. Maurice joined Fortinet 2 years ago after spending 11 years working in higher education. It is good to see that he is also a lecturer, by the way. The last 2 years as assistant dean, of course, in a management position within the College of Information and Technology at the University of Phoenix. He holds a Masters of Business Administration and Masters in Education focused on adult education. He is also having education certification from Ethical Hacking, the EC Council, as a Certified Chief Information Security Officer. Congrats. Without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Maurice to take over the session. Over to you, Mr. Maurice. You may need to unmute your mic, please.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me. I'm glad I was able to participate today. I am going to share my screen here and talk a little bit about Fortinet and the Security Academy program. Many of you seem like you already know Fortinet is the #1 cybersecurity company in the world as far as hardware, software technology. Fortinet has over 440,000 customers globally. I run, as mentioned, the Security Academy program, and the Security Academy program is part of Fortinet's social responsibility efforts. So at Fortinet, we want to be more than just a technology company. We also want to be an education company. So we want to make sure that we are providing avenues and access for individuals to enter careers in technology. I believe initially was stated that providing equal opportunity for everyone to learn, especially right now with COVID-19. Just today, Certification Magazine put out an article around Fortinet's NSE-1 certificate, which really states that the findings of a survey they did, individuals who had the NSE-1 certification averaged about $106,000 a year. And the NSE-1 certification is primarily around cyber awareness. It is one of the more entry-level certifications we have at Fortinet, but just providing that framework and foundation allows people to springboard or move into the cybersecurity field with confidence that they at least have a baseline understanding of threats and what a bad actor or a threat landscape looks like. There are other skills they'll need to learn, but that gives many the confidence to say, you know, I can see myself in this industry. Fortinet also is a founding member of the Center for Cybersecurity at the World Economic Forum. We also work with NATO and Interpol and other law enforcement agencies globally through our iLabs to share threat intelligence. I actually have sort of our running threat intelligence map. So this is threatmap.fortiguard.com. And really this map is showing running attacks or running cyber attacks right now in real time. We have these tools and resources available for the public to make sure that everyone has access to the information, to the knowledge, to make a safer future and a safer environment. So, as mentioned, the Security Academy program works with institutions to create a more diverse, equitable, inclusive cyber workforce, really bridging the gap between learning and careers. So what that means essentially, it's about creating opportunity. It's about creating pathways to bring more people in to technology, whether that is coming through traditional routes in education or coming back into education after having a career through reskilling or upskilling. From my time at university, I know that it's one thing to educate an individual. It's another thing to then help them use that education and career. So Fortinet works with institutions to provide practical skill-based knowledge, the same learning that we teach our professionals who are doing the job every day, so that you as a student are able to then use those skills in conjunction with the other knowledge and critical thinking ability that you're learning at university. So you're earning both the practical skills as well as the theoretical skills simultaneously to make you a more productive employee when you graduate. The Academy program really works to focus on the achievement gap and the opportunity gaps in the world. Because we feel like that will directly affect the skills gap holistically. So my program works with secondary schools, learning centers, nonprofits, colleges, universities, all to provide our content at no cost, all to provide exam vouchers for students at no cost, to make sure that we're breaking down barriers and creating the most opportunity possible for students to earn certification and get into careers in cybersecurity. So this cybersecurity competency model is from the Competency Model Clearinghouse, but I put this in a slide because I, having experience with EC Council and I'm a big fan of EC Council, often like to talk to institutions and to students about how EC Council learning and Fortinet learning works together, or, you know, industry-wide technical learning and industry-specific technical learning. Both EC Council and Fortinet map to a nice framework, which you're seeing in Tier 5, but it's not in a competitive sense. You know, I've done mapping with some colleagues back when I was at the university on how industry learning can work within or work with vendor agnostic learning, making a more holistic learning program for students who are taking maybe some EC Council courses, some Fortinet courses, and maybe other courses to round out your cyber education. So for technical certification levels, The Academy program really focuses on our NSE 4, NSE 5, 6, and 7 certifications. So NSE 4 is really focused on that network administrator, that day-to-day role. NSE 5, you're looking at more analytics. These are going to be people working in the SOC, looking at logs, looking at alerts. NSE 6, you're moving into specializations. So that's where you get into your application layer, your web filtering. And by NSE 7, you're looking at more enterprise-wide learning. How do you affect your entire organization by understanding different policies and how different systems connect? So while these are numbered chronologically, institutions have the ability, and your institution has the ability, to decide what type of program they're building and how to traverse that with the learning that Fortinet provides. But as you can see, for any individual, starting from NSE 4 and working your way up, as you progress in your career, much like my colleague from EC Council said, you have opportunity to progress in your learning. And I think that's what this presentation is really about, is continuous learning in cybersecurity is necessary to maintain skills and continue to grow. But in addition to our certification stacks, we also have learning tracks. So Fortinet has 4 key pillars: Zero Trust Network Access, Security-Driven Networking, Dynamics Cloud Security, and AI-Driven Operations. Those are where Fortinet focuses its time and efforts in building out the future of cyber technology. As you can see, our learning maps to these verticals depending on what an institution or organization is focusing on with their learning. NSE 4 is foundational. Anyone taking NSE 4 will always be prepared to take other courses later. But as you can see, if you're looking at AI-driven security operations, you have a few more courses you can choose from at NSE 5 and different courses to choose from at NSE 7 than if you were looking at dynamic cloud security. It's really all about where you see your future and where you hope to go with your career. The cybersecurity field is only getting bigger. There's only going to be more nuance and more sections, and the ability to figure out your direction makes you that much more marketable and gets you to where you're going that much sooner. So Fortinet provides content and curricula to institutions. We also do provide some technology and hands-on abilities. I did key up our lab environment, but I also keyed up a quicker sort of demo video that can show you briefly sort of how it looks when you're engaging with our lab. So I'm going to play a few minutes of this, then show you a few pieces of actively working in our lab demo, and then try to maintain some time, I think, here at the end for questions.
Maurice, we are not able to hear the audio. Do you have any audio for this? Or?
There is audio, but you can't hear it. So we're gonna just go to the demo environment to make it easier. But I will move through this a little quicker because I definitely want to make sure we can answer questions. So similar to what you saw with my colleague's presentation, there is a lab guide that goes along with our learning, walking individual through the steps and processing, steps and processing through the learning. This is my demo space, so it does not have the sidebar column with the steps, so I have a separate document on the side. But essentially, in this section, what I'd be doing is I'd be creating a sort of a DDoS filter, looking at our IP4 DDoS policy, and then coming in to create a policy. And everything I'm showing you right now is exactly the interface that an individual would see when dealing with the FortiGate technology through our FortiManager, our FortiAnalyzer. Fortinet creates a single pane of glass that allows an individual to operate its entire infrastructure from one space. So in creating a policy, and the video led into this a little bit more, but I'm able to select the interface I want to come from, so I chose port 1. I'm able to select the source ID, I'm going to select all for this purposes. The destination address, I'm also going to select all. And as you can see, Fortinet has a host of preloaded addresses that will go in conjunction with addresses that are then white labeled at the organization. And then for services, where I'm also going to select all. And with Fortinet's platform, at any point, you can access a tutorial, online help to help an individual who's working on the technology troubleshoot in real time what issues they're running into. So in this instance, I'm just going to check over a few things, make sure that we want to turn on our, sorry, I'm looking over my shoulder here. We're going to turn on our block for our ICM flood. So really we're working again to block or mitigate DDoS attacks, and select OK. What the other video would have shown you, and I would carried on, is once you create this, then you're able to pull up your command line through a Linux interface, which didn't quite load, so I'm not going to go through that. We're just going to sort of circle back to the presentation. But once you open the command line, you're able to then run an auto simulation of sort of a DDoS attack to see if the block you created on that port works. With the platform, you're going to see that you have a local FortiGate, client FortiGate, a remote FortiGate, a Linux box. So we give you the different platforms necessary within the virtual lab in order for an individual to test, configure, retest, reconfigure, and see how what they're testing is working in real time, but also in that sandbox environment so you're not disrupting someone's production. I'm going to jump back to the presentation and sort of wrap it up just to make sure we have a little bit of time left. So that's all for my presentation. I guess essentially what I tell all students, and I want everyone to take away from this, is there is a wide open field for individuals in cybersecurity. Whether you are a technologist or whether you are interested in the field but have other skills that are still valuable. Not every position in the skills gap is a technology-related skills gap or a skills position. But if you are learning technology for employment, you want to make sure that while you're at university, you do experience as many technologies as possible so that when you go into the labor force and you go into the job market, you are most versed to handle any questions or systems that you encounter. So I'll stop there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maurice. It's my pleasure. It's actually our pleasure to have you here. And we have around 2 minutes more. If you have any questions, Talha and Maurice, you can pick up the questions from the audience. And if it is a generic question, you can try to answer it here. Waiting for you guys. Talha, there
Yes,
was there were some questions,
yeah.
I guess, general questions. You may pick
Yeah,
up there.
I did reply in the chat box to a couple of them, but the ones that I've missed, let me just go through there. There are different cyber security. Okay, so let's just start from the top. Is there any connection between online scammers and hackers? You know, these are the same bad guys. Online scammer is a phishing attack. Typically, you will receive a phishing email, and that is a a known hacker. Phishing is an online scam, and they do cross-site scripting attacks. You could be redirected to a dummy website, and they use session hijacking attacks, one which we saw here. And these are the same guys who do this kind of activities. Okay, so thanks for interesting session. How can we protect our computer, laptop, or mobile phone from being hacked or sensitive information being stolen? To what extent can anti-malware generator sold out their help? Okay, so great question, Dr. Reynolds. So once suggestion I would have is to use genuine software. Please don't download free bloatware. Nothing comes for free in the world. If it's free, there's something fishy about it. There's some backdoor application or some inbuilt application that can cause you to lose your data. I would recommend you buy genuine software and keep your antivirus up to date and use secure passwords. And these are some of the ways you can protect your computer, laptop, and download all applications from the Play Store. Keep in touch with the industry for known malicious apps, and these are some of the ways that you can protect yourself as an end user. Okay, so in my app, in an app for selling used goods called OLX, and I didn't know how to act. All right, so this is a known platform for social engineering, and please avoid any transactions, financial transactions where they ask you for money in advance for the transaction or send you information regarding, confirmation or asking you personal information when you're trying to buy or sell anything on OLX. So I would suggest you be prudent and act responsibly. Make sure that if it sounds too good to be a deal or sounds too fishy, they're asking for any information in advance before actually the transaction happening, then it's typically a cyber attack. So make yourself aware in the cyber community so that you're well protected in the environment. Does that mean free cybersecurity have something fishy about them too? Free cybersecurity courses, there are a lot of courses, but you have to understand that if it's for free, I'm sure it's somebody's proprietary information. I'm not discrediting the author. There might be some good resources, but it never, a paid program is more organized and more accepted in the industry, and it comes with a globally recognized certification. Now, free resources could be additional value add. It's always good to have more knowledge, and definitely it can help you gradually build your skills. I believe the session is being recorded, right, Dr. Ramalingam?
Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
Yeah. So please share it with the gentleman who say I've missed the presentation. I got somewhere. Okay. Okay. Now
Thank
we
you
have
very much,
covered.
Mr. Talha. Is there any
Yeah.
questions you would like to answer, Mr. Maurice? Is there any particular question for you, or it's okay?
So I can't see the questions on my end, but I think in regards to the free learning, I think it also makes sense to know why it's free.
Okay.
Free typically isn't free. So understanding why and understanding the resources, even Fortinet and with our Academy program, we provide to institutions for free, but that's because we have other streams of revenue. So if someone is offering only training for free, then yeah, I would be very curious as to what the hook is.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Tauris, Mr. Maurice, and Mr. Talha. My colleagues, Professor Vijay is not here. Ms. Jacinta and Mr. Mohammed Siddiq. And thank you, big thanks for the audience who joined the session, and hope that it will be it was an useful session, and you got some knowledge about the cybersecurity and how important it is, and how SC Council can be part of your life in terms of certifications, and how Fortinet is providing the applications and the appliances for securing your environment. If you have further questions, we are glad to answer. And once again, I remind you that the e-certificate will be dispatched to you by our marketing team for the active participants, as we promised before. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us, and we are ready to help you. Thank you very much.